Lisa Gawlas, April 29, 2015. Massive quantum energies on steroids billowing in. It sure is an interesting slide into May, isn't it? I think yesterday was the most bizarre, spatially weird day I can remember experiencing. I think I can only liken it to being in a hall of mirrors all day long. Are objects closer than they appear, or is there a ton more room between me and them than it appears? Not only did my life feel like that, my appointments were like that too. I had 6 readings originally scheduled for yesterday. I did 2. 2 were reschedules on their end. I forgot to reschedule. 2 were simply MIA. Talk about adding so much space to my already spacious day. It really hit me when I took that long drive to the dentist, like somehow, everything expanded. There is too much space between me and everything I am familiar with. However, once I got on the main highway, it wasn't so intense feeling, thank goodness. But, let me come back to this. Usually, when we have another major shift in energy coming in, there is a constant on the field of readings, something that appears for everyone that has a relationship to our next system. Not this time around. I am at a loss to understand the vast differences within the readings. When Spirit mentioned in one of my morning sharings that we are now building a bridge into May, and my first reading of that day actually showed up with a bridge into May, I thought, good forbid we get too cozy in thinking we understand something. Because in about 10 readings since that moment, only 3 showed up reflecting a bridge. 2 of us, myself included, have a dome netting over our platform of life. One lady was sitting on the edge of her platform building a new energy system from ancient memories of experiences, and then my new man yesterday, a wonderful virgin upon the field, just blew me away and really gave us a bigger understanding of this crazy current moment we are in. His quantum surfboard looked different from anything I had seen so far. Kinda like this humble, very humble, recreation. The base or floor was in many various colors, not all one. But for the sake of my sanity, I made it all one color smile. The rings around it were no more than about a foot high, or 6 inches between each ring. It was eventually understood that these represent in part the energy of duality, and that he is using this partnership, duality, as his creational tool. It also keeps him from falling off the edge. God knows, yesterday, I needed these guide rails too. The posts going down and holding it all together equally represented various aspects of him, his soul, incarnated elsewhere. The color dots were like glowing jewels, and I kept telling him he bedazzled his platform of life. What I did not add to this image, simply because this is where my artistic ability ended low, was what looked like tassels from some of the bedazzled areas. And although I really don't understand it fully, what was explained about the tassels were the mastery of particular energy combinations. But let's really look at those jewels, radiations of creative light. They were not always the same color, but changed constantly as we talked. His team showed me how this was happening, and I pray I can explain it clearly. In the center of this platform was his body. Each energy center of his was emitting strings of light color-coded to that frequency, various shades of green for the heart area, blue for the throat area, and so on. With his emotional field within himself, these light strings were connecting and amplifying various posts on his guide rail thingy. Keeping in mind, these posts were charged with the pure quantity of energy from incarnated aspects of himself, mostly in the ET realm of incarnations that amplified back to him the creation of that emotion. I swear I felt like I was running to keep up with pouring information. But if we didn't get even weirder, suddenly I could feel the energy beneath my own feet as I witnessed his bedazzled platform of live quantum surfboard dip upwards at the front end. Even more surprising than that, I realized I was standing up. When did I stand up? I have never stood up during a reading, hell, until recently. I never moved the phone out of my left ear. I like consistency in whatever is working to create this connection. Obviously things are changing. How do I stand up and not even realize I did that until I felt the force of his platform move upwards beneath my own feet? Then I thought, well shit, I might fall down, I better sit down again, but no, seems spirit wanted me to be feeling the energy movement, so I did his reading in the standing position. I could suddenly see a massive influx of energy coming in from what we would perceive as our future. Only this energy, as his team said, was on steroids. If the energies of change and coagulation is usually the size of marble, these were golf ball-sized molecules. Equally, with it all, it has changed the speed and velocity of everything. This brings a few things to the fore from previous messages. First, if we want to head out in unlimited waters, life, we must learn to surf against the flow. Since this energy is coming in from the future, if we simply went with the flow, it will take you backwards into previous experiences and familiar ground. However, with our new crazy quantum surfboards that can move like the flight of a hummingbird, we are knee-deep in surf lessons. Last year, Spirit was all about speed and velocity. We had a good year to get acquainted with this radical movement of energy, and ourselves in relationship to it. I should have done more homework, lol. But first, let's bring back what it means. Just as distance and displacement have distinctly different meanings despite their similarities, so do speed and velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity that refers to how fast an object is moving. Speed can be thought of as the rate at which an object covers distance. Velocity is a vector quantity that refers to the rate at which an object changes its position. Imagine a person moving rapidly one step forward and one step back, always returning to the original starting position. While this might result in a frenzy of activity, it would result in a zero velocity. Because the person always returns to the original position, the motion would never result in a change in position. Going into my man's crazy surfboard, I could feel, literally, the wave moving it upwards, but we never moved out of the position we started in, most like, 'cause we were doing a reading instead of trying to surf somewhere. Clearly though, it was his inner emotional field, the combination of emoted energy, through a combination of specific energy centers, that created the lift I experienced in my feet and seen on his surfboard. Bless this man's heart, I couldn't help but go into the holy gutter the moment his team said, when I asked what those rings were, "This is your erection." Hey! Let's be gentle with him, he is a virgin after all. But no. We talked about sex and penetration, OMG. Thank God he was such a great sport, phew. This morning, now that I am not melting down with blush, I really see what his team was trying to explain to us. We are created in the likeness of God, Creator Source, pick a name literally and symbolically. Men are the firm, external creation vessel, please, think penis here, smile. Woman, the deep mystery, the black hole, the depths of energy life springs from. If we look at ourselves, our physical bodies, we would be representing the penis. Kinda takes the phrase dickhead to a literal side, lol, sorry, couldn't help myself there. The air around us would represent the mysterious feminine, sultry, moving, seductive, and our job is to find the wet spot, lol, for those of you who know the flower joke. In order for us to birth anything, to bring anything forward into our present moments, we must insert our firmness into the energy spot of penetrable creation. I literally see it as a large energetic donut-shaped hole, a rather larger one, maybe 3 feet in diameter, and our job is to go through the hole itself, fertilizing the desires within. Unlike our physical bodies, well, actually, there are more than one hole to enter in, knowing which one produces life is the key. Emotion equals entrance, equals fertilized desires made manifest. So now, let's leave all that on hold, 'cause that's about as far as I understand for right now, and go back to the spatial difference, the energy bombardment many are feeling and bodies are reacting to, 'cause that's what bodies do with new energies. Oh, and the hunger, the freaking insatiable hunger pangs being felt by many. Holy flip Batman. The only thing I am sure about right now, quantum surfing takes a lot of extra energy and the body is demanding it to build its new, pimped out surfing engine. The protein building blocks inside of our biology is changing, honor what your body desires. Oh, I am adding this as I just found the image I am using with today's sharing. Speaking of the wet spot, I feel very strongly after seeing this picture. These massive quantum energies are the eggs potential of the feminine coming through the wet spot donut hole. Whatever. I suppose we ride them and fertilize them at the same time? I really don't know, yet. I know there is so much more to share, I just need the words to do it. Tomorrow? Here's hoping today provides more insight as we get closer to the entrance of the energy of May. Big hugs of wild, erect energy hitting the wet spot of your life. Giggle. Lisa Gawlas, www.mysoulcenter.com. Rebooted and Learning to Surf at Will. By Lisa Gawlas, April 27, 2015. What a strange culmination in my world to a very intense week on planet Earth. From the eruptive volcanic in Chile, to the landscape life-altering massive earthquake in Nepal, to each of us feeling the strange roller coaster-like pings of emotions taking us up, dropping us down and whipping us side to side all damn week. The moment I published my blog yesterday, I was wrapped in this energy that felt this is the end of your day. And? It's freaking 6 a.m., I am barely starting it. By 7 a.m., my internet and phone was completely off. Granted, we were having a wonderful rainstorm yesterday, but since they fixed my wirings, the storms have not shut me down at all. I decided to take advantage of this moment and actually take a bath. With the readings and meditation classes, I don't allow for any bath shower time, no eating time. I crack myself up sometimes, I can forget I exist too. Lol. So I ran a bath and decided to take a look and see where I am at in this new quantum surfboard of energy. I could see myself at the northwest edge kicking energy out into the abyss. What the hell am I doing? I look lost. Lol, the next thing I know I see this grid come up from all around the outer platform and create a dome-like area all around me. Through this whole mini thing I am simply watching myself. Next thing I know I am now in this southeast section and I pull myself up through one of the grid spaces that looks like a stretched out fishing net and just sat there on the grid, half and half above it, and that's all. Nothing but the black abyss all around me. The end. What the hell was that? I am more confused now than before I took a bath. I got out of the tub in time for my first reading, and damn it if there was still no dial tone or internet. I cannot tell you the panic that goes through me when I have no way of calling or emailing anyone on my schedule that I cannot connect. I took a trip down to the Pueblo where I at least know I get a cell signal and put a note on my Facebook of my current condition and emailed the 2 people I had missed already to say why I was no-show. It was a strange energetic trip to say the least. The water flooding the roads, the mud sliding down the hillsides, it was deeply cleansing and reformatting in feeling. I could have very well been in a living reading, that's what it felt like. I couldn't wait to get back into my home. I got back home and did my ritualistic bitching at Spirit. Rescheduling is officially a nightmare with the May course taking up every day through May, and how unfair this is to any of us. No one cared about my bitching, silence was all I got. Except the hummers. It seems at least 15 to 20 made their way back to my world yesterday, and their activity was odd. I have their feeders hanging on my backyard window, and yet they were pretty persistent in their flight patterns of hovering around my front window and front door, looking in the house. I knew something was up inside my home. What? I still have no clue. The longer the day stretched on with no internet or phone, the higher my inner anxiety grew. I cannot tell you how much I dislike leaving anyone hanging, and I swear my team must have given me some anesthesia, cause the next thing I knew, I couldn't stay awake and I slept, and slept, and slept through pretty much till this morning. However, just before I crashed, I got a clear visual of my daughter in her cell with 3 angels surrounding her. I took comfort in that image and asked them to tap into her like they once did when she was younger. There has got to be some sort of miracle happening. When I talked to her Saturday, she had not yet heard from her court-appointed attorney, nor had she had a bond hearing scheduled yet. I just found out from her roommate this morning. She talked to her attorney yesterday and has a bond hearing set for today. This happened on a Sunday. This morning, having a million hours of sleep now under my belt and God only knows what kind of energy work, I am absolutely sure yesterday was some sort of reboot for all of Earth. The high-intensity energy being released from the Earth herself, the new platform of life we have beneath our feet, the choices we have mostly unconsciously made through April, all forming a bridge of energy into the field of May. Oh, something I wanted to mention with 2 of the meditation instructions that came out these last 2 weeks. We are so accustomed to saying go with the flow. What if our job now is to learn how to surf against the flow? To exercise was taking my ladies over the ocean waves against the flow of the waves themselves. Learning to surf at will, in the opposite direction of the currents of the ocean, of the life field around you. Now, to see what the hell we got ourselves into this time. I love you all so much and thank you for living this crazy ass life we created with me, with each other. Big hugs of creating your new flow of life, at will. Lisa Gawlas, www.mysoulcenter.com